Good evening. Welcome to the 31st episode of Rachel Pilcher Writing Workshops Live. Tonight, I first want to start off by telling everybody, for those of you who are fathers, happy Father's Day. If you are a mother who has done the work of a father, happy Father's Day to you too, you mothers. And let's go ahead and get started. We have had some storms in and around Texas. Y'all may have seen it on the news if you're not from Texas. I wasn't quite sure if I was going to be doing this live in my office or live from my car because our electricity went out briefly. But as you can see, I have all the lights on in the office, so I'm glad to be able to bring this to you in a dry, comfortable place. I hope y'all are all dry and comfortable yourself, and that if your electricity is out, that it comes back on soon. Tonight's episode is called Help, I Need an Editor. So the reason why I chose that is that I keep having people say to me, hey, do you have a recommendation for an editor? Do you know someone who would be good to edit my book? And really, it's kind of hard to figure out exactly what that means sometimes. So I've had several emails on that, and it's very common, so it's great to have an idea of what it is exactly that you are looking for. So when you say you're looking for an editor, you'll need to know what type of editing that you need so that you can ask for that specific type of editor. And whenever you're looking for editors, you'll be able to say, hey, I need this. So the type of editings. There is manuscript evaluation. So manuscript evaluation editing, it's very similar to a critique or what your beta readers would do. So just notice my mom said hi. Hi, Mom. Thanks for joining. So what your manuscript evaluation will do, what the editor will do on that, is they will read thoroughly through and assess your work and provide an overall critique for the entire manuscript. So it will include information on punctuation, spelling, grammar, syntax, flow, style, and structure. And for fiction works, it'll look for plot structure, for dialogue. Rachel Wood just joined. Hi, Rachel. Thanks for joining. So it'll look at dialogue, point of view, characterization, pacing, and the other elements that would be involved with fiction pieces would be evaluated. So this critique will provide an evaluation of the strengths and the weaknesses of your manuscript. And some of you may have noticed I just jumped right in, so I have some stuff I'm going to talk to you all about at the end. But so that is manuscript evaluation. That is an editor that will do a manuscript evaluation. The next up will be structural editing. So structural editing will do just like what it sounds like it will be. It will look at the structure of your manuscript, and it will focus on whether you have logical organization and flow of content to ensure that your work is clear, that it's concise, that it's easy for your readers to read, and it's going to look at that from the sentence, the paragraph, and the chapter levels. So it's going to look at how does it flow throughout the book. So it's going to look at the structure. So a structural editor will look at that. Next, you'll have to forgive me, I have this pulled up on my my laptop because I want to make sure that I'm saying exactly what each one of these do. It's very precise, so I want to get it right for y'all. So next you have line or stylistic editing. So line and stylistic editing is going to look at whether your manuscript has a clear, fluid meaning, and it's going to help you. They're going to look for cliches that need to be eliminated, if there's smooth language, if there's a unifying, distinctive style throughout the entire manuscript. So your manuscript will be analyzed to ensure that that each sentence has a continuous tone and the language has the same formality throughout. Now that's not saying formal language, that's just saying that it maintains the same type of language throughout the book, throughout the manuscript. And they'll also look at dialogue. So they'll look at, is what your characters are saying the same? Is it consistent from character to character? Is it consistent from chapter to chapter for those characters? So that is a line or stylistic editing. Next, you'll look at copy editing. And copy editing it's very similar to what you would think that most editors are doing for you. So whenever you have your manuscript ready to go, your manuscript will be evaluated for making sure it has standardized grammar, spelling, punctuation, and all of the mechanics of style are standard throughout. We'll also thoroughly check for consistency in style choices. So it's checking to make sure that you are consistent from chapter to chapter, or even from paragraph to paragraph. That the mechanics, facts, if it's a nonfiction piece, or even if it's a fiction piece that you need to have checked for, do fact checking. If this is in the production stage, they're going to check for art placement. So copy editors are really good at making sure that if you are referencing a piece of art on one page, that it is on the page in which you're referencing it. Heading levels, and any production type requirements. And finally, you have proofreading. Proofreading is editing. So it's separate from copy editing. Proofreading is usually done after all of the other editing and layout and page proofs have been prepared by your designer. So this happens at the very end of the process. So sometimes authors will say, well, I got my proofs in the mail, or you'll get your proofs. This is where you will go through and you'll read over to make sure that the manuscript is checked for accuracy and consistency, and that all of the headers, the level heads, the page numbering, the end of line breaks, the breaks, it's very, the technological part of interior design of your book. The word breaks, the placement of the tables, of the artwork, of everything that's in there, if you have that. They may also complete the table of contents for you and do indexing, number of the cross-references, but that can be negotiated with the individual editor. So for those of you that are looking for an editor, it's really important to say, okay, well, if you think you need a copy editor, then you are at the stage in which you are getting ready to go into production and you need somebody to look over it. Most of you probably need line or stylistic editing, so they're going to be looking at making sure that everything is organized in the correct way. So one of the great places to go if you're looking for an editor, I don't really have a whole lot of suggestions. I know some editors, but some of them aren't freelance. Some of them are freelance, but they do a special type of editing, but they're all listed in the Editorial Freelancers Association website. So I will put that link, if you're watching on Facebook, I'll put that link in the comment section whenever I finish the video so you can see it on the replay. If you are watching on YouTube, because I do upload to YouTube, I will put it in the description, the link to the Editorial Freelancers Association. But it's really easy. If you just Google Editorial Freelancers Association, you'll be able to find it. So I hope that information was helpful for you. If it was, please make sure that you click like right over in the corner there, and feel free to share this video with others who you think could benefit from my words of advice. I do want to remind y'all, coming up this Saturday, I have an online workshop that's called Blogging for Beginners. It's scheduled on the 22nd from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. It is online, so for those of you who think, oh, well, I don't know if I'll be able to get to Fort Worth for that, it's not in person, it is online. So for information to register for that, you can go to rachelpilcherwritingworkshops.com and check out the online workshops section. I've also been given the honor of presenting the keynote at UTA's Writers Symposium on July the 27th. That's a Saturday. I think it's the last Saturday of the month. For more information about this event, because I'd love for you to be able to come out and see me and check out some of the sessions that they have, meet some of the agents, you can go to rachelpilcherwritingworkshops.com and click on Speaking Engagements. And finally, if there is a topic that you would like for me to discuss on a future episode, either mention it in the comment section here, or you can message me via the Rachel Pilcher Writing Workshops page, or email me at rachel@rachelpilcher.com. Thank you for joining me tonight. I will be back on here in 2 weeks, which is Sunday, June the 30th, right here on the Rachel Pilcher Writing Workshops Facebook page for another writerly discussion. Enjoy your evening.